Well, hi everyone, and welcome to Bill Baloo's Wednesday Webbies, or as I like to call them, the Wednesday Weekly Webbies, or is it Weekly Wednesday Webbies? Anyway, I don't know. I get it mixed up. But whatever it is, it begins with www, and we all know that being online, that's really important. Today's topic is, so you've written a book. Well, I've just written a book, and I know lots of you have also written a book. And my book is 50,000 words long. It's over 200 pages, and it took me a good 6 or so months to get started writing it. So I've been investigating what's the best way to promote my book. So hopefully we can have a chat about it as well. We're all encouraged to write books and use them as we can for whatever reason. And for the most part, it's, to establish yourself as a top influencer and to show people you know what you're doing. So I've created a little bit of a model that I'm actually using at the moment and trialing and testing it. So I hope that you can jump in. If you want to ask questions, you're more than welcome. We can have a look. If you want to, if I'm talking too much or you can't get a word in, because that'll happen, pop it in the chat box and we'll see how we go. So welcome to everyone who's joined us today. It's great to have you along. If you do miss anything, this recording will be posted on Bill Baloo's forum. So check that out. And you can go back and have a good look and go through it later on. So the first thing we need is a website. Now, that's pretty obvious, I suppose, but a lot of author websites aren't doing the job they're supposed to do. You need to obviously have it self-hosted, and you need to use WordPress. Self-hosting means that you own the content. You also own your URL. And for most authors, that's your name or it's your brand and your business. And also by using WordPress, you're going to get a great deal of really good plugins that you can use. Now, we've covered all this stuff before in earlier webinars. If you've got any questions, by all means jump in or pop them in the chat box. At Rev on Bill's forum is our resident WordPress website expert. So you can always ask him questions on the forum and he's sure to help you. I've learned so much there about building websites. At the moment, I've created and managed about 8 altogether. So yeah, it's really, really good fun and interesting. But you need a really good website. And of course, on your website, you need a blog. There are other pages that you'll need, the definite things. You can go online and Google those. You definitely need a book buy page. You need information about you. But to generate traffic, and these are readers who are interested in reading your book, you're going to need a blog, and you're going to need to blog articles on a very regular basis. In fact, the more, the better. Now, I've put a course together, which is, you can see the link down there, and I will guarantee that if you can blog every day for 3 months, you're a little bit of a freak, perhaps like me. But most people don't last a month. It's really difficult to know what to write about. So I put a course together which looks at all sorts of ways and you can blog, what you can talk about, how you can draw people who will already be attracted to the idea of your book, and perhaps even get them to buy a copy. That'd be great. There we go. So blog is really important there. Now, Tim Gold from Book Launch has also some really great tips, and I'd encourage you to buy his book. It's really, really worth reading. Study it, make notes. He also has a lot of free information. One thing he does he focuses on is gathering emails. This is really, really important. It's extremely difficult to do for some books, not others. I think that's down to your audience as well. I don't think it's a personal thing. But, I'm just talking from experience, of course. And, of course, you need to offer something for free that's downloadable. Could be an ebook, could be some images, might be some podcasts. And then you need to in exchange for an email address, which then, of course, you need to build up. Now, this is where the mistake happens. Some authors are very good at attracting people to their website and getting them to sign up to the e-newsletter. But then, of course, they make the fatal mistake. They put in, or they create emails that are badgering people, annoying, they're spamish, and they're all buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. Or they might be buy my latest release, or check out my this, check out my that. What you need to do is build up trust. You need to build up yourself as an expert again. Of course, you've written this great book. Now your blog needs to support that. So instead, send out fortnightly emails that are informative, interesting, and useful. And yes, comment on your book, share the buy links, but make sure the whole focus is about the reader. And I'm going to show you what I've been doing. Now, I've only been doing this for a few weeks, and I apologise that you can't read it because I have to squash the whole thing into the PowerPoint slide. But this is my email that goes out. So let's have a look. I've sort of brought it down. I change the content each time it goes out. As you can see, there's an image of my book. Click on that and it takes you to the Amazon page, or it could take you to my website. Now, sometimes I change that to track, see how it goes. But it's also about branding. I tested that book cover. My demographics is pretty much that picture of that very lovely smiling face that you can see. So yeah, that's the whole appeal of my book cover. The first thing is I have a personal welcome message, and I don't mean personal as in, hi Sue, how are you going? It does begin, hi, insert first name. But after that, I actually mentioned something that I've done during the week. This week, I've been actually helping my mother move into a retirement village, and I got to spend some time with my grandchildren, which is always lovely. So, at any given moment, we have 4 generations of people in the same room, and we're expecting a new baby. So in December. So just a couple of sentences about what's been happening in my week. I'm sure it's relatable. And, it makes it, why I do is not because I'm so terrific and I need to share all my stuff, is that it makes my emails sound like they're coming from a human being. And of course they all are, but there's no salesy, gimmicky stuff like that. I often talk about the Amazon ranking of the book, which is pretty good. It's gone from, it was at 20 and went up to 70 and 80, and now it's back to 15. As I say this, don't go and check it and then send me a message if it's on 150 or something. But yeah, obviously the Amazon ranking moves up and down as sales occur. I have a free offer, and I just quickly remind them of the free offer. The next thing I do, which is a really valuable thing, is I offer other articles of interest, and these are not from me. Some of them are, and I've tried again. It's a little bit of a test. If they're my articles, they're articles I've guest posted on other websites. Or I go and find something interesting. My target audience are grandparents, in particular grandmothers. I found a great article this week about the importance of turning grey your hair. So how can you be a young, happy, vibrant grandmother and have grey hair? Well, it can be done. And it's a really terrific article. So I've shared it. I've shared it with my readers. Under that, there's a box that stands out, the free offer with the code they need to get the ebook for free. And then below that is the RSS feed of my author blog. And, of course, under that are the social share buttons and the buttons where I can be found online. So it did take me a while to set up the entire format. Now all I have to do is change pretty much the welcome message, the first thing they see each week. And it's going to come with practice. The better I get at it. I'm getting a 35 to 40% click rate through. So people are looking at it and they're reading it. But it is early days, and if I get a chance, I'll come back and talk about it later. So your email needs to be for your reader. And they desperately need to read your book and be informed and educated and entertained. But you need to create an email that's for them, that they're going to want to read. Okay, let's have a look at our next point. Sharing posts. Now, I don't want to go into this too much because I know we've covered it a lot, but once you've got your website set up, make sure that everything you post on it is automated to your social media accounts. This could be your Facebook page. As far as I know, you can't post to a Facebook group from WordPress at the moment, but I hope I'm wrong because I've got 2 really vibrant groups happening and I'd love to be able to post my content to that. At the moment, they're going to a Facebook page, and I manually put 1 or 2 over into the group each day. Get it on Twitter. There's so many authors on Twitter. It's just amazing, and they're very generous. And I get a lot of my stuff shared over and over and over again, which is really exciting. And of course, I reciprocate in kind. You also need to share on whatever platform your target audience is mucking around on. So it might be Instagram or Pinterest. It could be LinkedIn. You can do them all, of course. It's up to you as long as your WordPress plugins are set up properly. But yeah, this is automated stuff. What will happen with this is that when somebody punches in the title of your book and your name, a whole list of places will come up where it can be found. And all of those are social media. And a lot of it's about social proof and just being around and online. There we go. So, of course, you need to set up your Amazon page. Now, I like this as set and forget. You can link your blog. Just recently, an author asked me to review his book. The first thing I did was I went to his, he sent me the Amazon link. It was a little bit salesy, the email I got, but, you know, I tend to sort of go, I'm in the biz, so I'll ignore the salesy stuff. So I did click on it, but the thing I did do is I went straight to his author name, which, of course, if you noticed on Amazon is hyperlinked. That took me to his author page. Now, what I did then is he's got his blog linked to it. Now, he didn't send me his blog or his website in the email, which is pretty dumb. But that's okay. You know, everyone's learning. So I went there and I'm gonna offer to write him a guest post. But I want to talk about those a bit later. So you've got to have an Amazon page. Again, for the example I just gave, it gets you to showcase what's on your website. And because your website's got to be the main focus of where you're putting your content to promote your book. However, I think it's pretty much set and forget. You can add videos and images if you want to. I don't really know how many real readers use it. But if I'm wrong, gosh, I'm really happy for someone to tell me that. It's to just send me a letter. That's a cool dude. So set and forget, you've got to have your Amazon page set up. If you're using Smashwords as well, get that done too. It's just, again, part of your profile and your branding. Okay, so this, for me, this year has been really significant. Now, I've done a webinar on this, and I do mention it every now and then, but I think it's been very, very exciting. I went out and found websites which had similar followings and interests to my readers, my target audience. And rather than look at them as competitors, I saw them as collaborators. And I decided, I think it was about the second or the first week in January, that I was going to see if I could write 100 guest posts. Now, I had the 2 years before that, I'd managed to get my books promoted on 50 websites. And I think the year before that was 25. So I thought, it might be a bit of a struggle to get to 100, but I'm going to set a goal. So to date, where are we now? First week in November, I'm on 109 guest posts. I have about 20 webinars I've also presented on, and I know I have a few scheduled posts coming. So I've certainly met my requirements, and I now have 3 permanent jobs writing. And the best part about that is that at the bottom of every guest post is a link back to my website so that people can see what I'm about. So I can't encourage you enough. You don't have to do 100. You can sort of scale it down and say you're going to do 1 a month, 1 a week. It doesn't matter. Set a goal. We all know how important goal setting is. Stick to it. Make yourself do it. You'll get better at it. We talked about blog posts for your website being about 250 to 350 words. You need to offer a little bit more as a guest post. I think it's just it just seems to be that the more generous we are, the more likely you'll get accepted. So do it. Put a little bit of work in. We've done this, like I said, we've done this before, and I've talked about structuring one and how to actually get a formula going. So, but if you need any help, by all means, you're more than willing to contact me. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm an online Susan Day author, and I'm also on Bill's forum. So you can send me or start a thread on Bill's forum and say, what is this crazy Australian woman talking about? And I'm sure there'll be a lot of responses, trust me. If you want to have a look at the 100 guest posts for a year, there's a page on a website I manage called blogimagesonline.com. There's a link that says 100 guest posts in 1 year. It's in the menu. I have to be honest, I don't think it's been updated in a few weeks, so that's really naughty of me. But you'll be able to see the list of links. Now, I've actually collected every time I was mentioned online. So some of them are not specifically about my book that I've written, but they might be about me. And I'm a great believer that all roads lead to Rome, as it were. So, it's good fun. It's been very interesting. So I think these are the sorts of things you really need to do. I know there is many other things that other promoters will talk about: podcasting your book, getting your book, an audiobook made using Amazon. Can't remember what it's called, but it'll be there somewhere. Offering free. I actually do offer freebies. It's part of my book, but you have to get to the second last page to see all the links. For heaven's sakes, don't put them at the beginning, because Amazon and Smashwords and a lot of them give people the opportunity to flick through the first 20% of the book. So you don't want to give too much. You don't want to give your free stuff away. That's what I'm trying to say. So get out there and start promoting your book. Of course, now we've got Goodreads available. Goodreads has been problematic in the past. Your book will, if it's registered with Amazon, it will automatically appear within a few days on Goodreads. Go and claim it. Make sure that it's yours, and make sure that it's looking really good. I have a presence on Goodreads, and again, it's always been a bit hit and miss. What I have found to be really useful, and this is only just this year, is joining a legitimate review group, and I've got myself reading. A legitimate review group is one that abides by the Amazon rules. So you can't, Amazon are a bit fickle. If you just jump online and say you've read this book and you give a review, they like it to be a verified purchase. The group that I belong to has got it structured so well that there's a daisy chain. You review the book, you review the next book if you like. Once that's reviewed, you get to put your book into the system. And there's price brackets, so that nobody's sort of out of pocket too much. And they're all Kindle books, so I might be out $3 or $4 a book, but in exchange I get a really well written, honest review. So don't worry about 3-star reviews. Don't worry about poor reviews. Every review counts. Nobody's going to love your book. Nobody. Not everybody's going to love your book. There's always going to be all sorts of people that don't like it, or it's not their cup of tea, and that's okay. But there'll be plenty of people that do love your book and who will want to share it. So check out the rules. Make sure that they are legitimate. If they are, they'll say, we're following the Amazon guidelines. Click here to learn more. They'll offer you a system that may be a bit complex, but the complexity means that it's thorough, and that's what you want. You don't want to be caught out by Amazon, because they will remove all your reviews, which is never a good thing. So, Goodreads is another interesting aspect of getting and promoting your book. And, if you do read one book a week, that's 50 reviews you've written for other authors, 50 reviews you'll receive. With all that, that's 50 people that would never have found your book otherwise. Now, there we go. So, media outlets, yes, it's true, some people still read the newspaper. And again, now that newspapers are online, and a lot of them do have a really good following, why not write a media release? If you need help, let me know. I'm used to do them for politicians, so I'm not bad at them. They didn't always get elected again, but it may not have always been my fault. So, yeah, write a brief newspaper. Make it the key, having worked in the industry, the key is getting something they can cut and paste into the newspaper. Make it so easy for them. It's the best approach, trust me. So, yeah, to get a media release, I would begin local. I was lucky enough to know somebody who knew somebody who cancelled a radio interview, not this week, but the week before. And they rang me and said, do you want to go on? Talk about your book. We don't care. We just need someone to fill this space. So in I trot. It was a really good, fun interview. I share the podcast around, and again, it just becomes something I can use. From that interview, within 5 minutes, I was called by a reporter. Now, it's just a local newspaper. I may have only a circulation of 50,000 people, but, it all adds up, doesn't it? So, and that from there, I'm going to now put something together and contact all my small local newsletters, newspapers, and in the area, and then work my way up to the state and the national ones too. So yeah, don't forget the newspapers. So here we go. Here's my little formula. It's a little bit tiny, I understand, but I put them in order. So we've got your website plus your email list plus your social media outreach and your Amazon page added to all those guest blogs you're going to write, the good read groups you're going to join and do share reviews, and all that media you're going to contact also go together to promote your book. So the other things, there's a lot of other things you can do. You can, buy 100 copies and make sure you give them away. Don't be stingy, mean. Give them away. Give them to anybody. Give them to everybody. Get a real snazzy little postcard or bookmark set up so that if you do give it away, drop a few hints about getting a review on Amazon. Do what you like. It's good fun. There's lots of things you can do. So that leads us to the end of the presentation. Here's billbaloo.com. GetOnlineFast.net. You can find me, or you can find me hanging around making a nuisance of myself on Bill's forum. Are there any questions? Has anyone got anything they'd like to add before I wind up? No. All right then, guys. Thank you once again. I appreciate everyone dropping in. Like I said, you can always contact me on the forum if you've got any questions and share what you're doing. It'll be great fun. Take care for now, and I look forward to talking to you next time.